Shout out to Grand Old Party Tobacco. What's up, bud? This is Sailor the Piperman, Piper the Sailorman. Thank you for that beautiful shout out. And I guess we're on the same wavelength. So because of that, this smoking one for you. That's the old tradition. You smoke one up for your buddy. We used to do it, smoke. Somebody passed away. Once we buried him, instead of doing libation, sometimes we do the libation. We gather around his tombstone, his burial ground, and we light up. That goes way back. To around the 14th century. Well, I know that because my uncle was a merchant marine in World War II, prior to World War II, during World War II, and after World War II. And more and more, I left a post on your comment section. More and more, I should be very much into Oriental, Boken Sobriani, Boken blends, the Latakia with a little bit Perique action, with some Cavendish. But more and more, as the year has gone by, I'm not liking a lot of the tobacco now with a lot of topping on it. A lot of gook, and it hinders the taste of tobacco. And I smoke cigars too, and I like the taste of cigars. And so, if I smoke a bowl of pipe tobacco with too much topping, and then I smoke a cigar, it ruins my cigar smoking. So the burley's very much old school. You're not gonna find too many youngins smoking burley. I have not tried velvet, and if I had, it's so far back that at the time, as a newbie, I wouldn't have liked burley, straight up burley. Now I tend to like more burley. And when I was a kid, my first cigarette was a machine roll that my uncle had. My uncle was about 70 years old back then, and he would take the Camel Turkish tobacco and the paper, and he had this machine, and he rolled it. So one day I decided to snatch one. He got up early in the morning. He was doing his prayers, and I was watching him from the other room. I had stayed over at my aunt's house, and my uncle lived in her house. So he was a very odd guy. He had some kind of mental issues, and always loner, never got married. And he would go out and sweep the sidewalks. And all the sanitation guys knew he was Pops. And he would wave, and he had so many chains. I mean, keys. Like if he was a janitor. But he wasn't working because he had mental issues. Very nice, very quiet, non-assuming. And so he would get dressed up in the morning, go outside, empty out the trashers of the whole neighborhood, prepare their bags and put them out there. Sometimes they give him money, but he'd do it for free. That was his job. He didn't work in the state. He was a orphan of the state, but he lived with my aunt. I didn't know this at the time. I was a kid. So I found that later on when I grew up. I was told the story And I was wondering why he never married, why he was somewhat of a loner, very quiet, ate by himself. But when the family came around, he would be very joyous, and he'd stand there with a little robusto, not lit, just stand there because my aunt didn't allow him to smoke. And one thing I noticed about my uncle Blah, his name was Blah, like Blah, Blah, for Blasino, is Italian name. One thing, he reeked tobacco. He smelled like Scott. I don't know if you ever been around an old person that smells it. I mean, he's clean shaven and everything, and you stand next to him, you could smell tobacco, man. And I always smelled that tobacco on him. It didn't smell bad. It just that odor of tobacco. One day, I asked and I got bold. I must have been like 10 years old. And I said, Uncle Blau, how come you always smell like a cigar? And he started laughing. He says, because when I was 8 years old, I worked around cigars. I breathed cigars. I began smoking at the age of 10 cigars. Not a lot, but I would smoke a cigar a day or a cigar every 2 days. And it's in my pores, he would say. And I'm like, in your pores? So he was that type of person, goes around, sweeps the streets, always had a cigar, but once in a while, he liked Turkish Camel, the original Camel cigar and Lucky Stripes. And recently I smoked a blend that reminded me so much of a Turkish tobacco, but it wasn't, was burley. And I think it was fire cured or smoke cured or whatever you want to call it. And I enjoyed it. And it brought back so much memories of my uncle and what he smelled like. So for years and years and years, I didn't smell the scent of the way my uncle, until a gentleman walked in. He's a hiker. He's hiked all over Europe. He walked in one day and I smelled it after years and years. And yeah, I was working in a tobacco shop. I was like, somebody smells like my uncle. And I got next to him. And he was standing there with a bag of Bugle Boy. I don't know if you remember Bugle tobacco. He was rolling a cigarette. And I said, I'll be damned. I said, can I ask you a question? What kind of tobacco is that? He goes, oh, it's Turkish tobacco. This is Bugle Boy made in Europe, Turkey somewhere, Europe somewhere. They import the tobacco. So, and I loved it. So, the closest thing to that particular blend is an Oriental with burley, and I tried one. I really enjoyed it. So I'm thinking more and more of stocking up on burley. Now I haven't tried a lot of burley. I've tried, the lower end burleys, and I'm starting to hear a lot of people talk about Granger and Velvet and some other blends. So if you have any suggestions, something that I could buy in bulk, but at the same time it's quality tobacco, quality burley, let me know. I purchase it. I'm here on the island and I need to buy by bulk. I can't afford to buy it any other way. It's a lot cheaper. I don't have to pay taxes on it. And basically I don't have to pay shipment if I buy by bulk. So you get my drift. So I want to say, I've had a lot of great pipes. This one, it's a Rossi second. And it reminded me of a well expensive Ashton that I had that was about $350 back in the 1990s. It looks like it has the same classic design, and it's taking me about a couple of months to break in, and now it's broken in now, and I love it. It's not expensive. It cost me $44, and I'm noticing, wow, the prices, the corn cobs are going up. I went to look at a freehand, and it costs about $25, $26. So I'm thinking, well, what buy me a second Rossi for $44? It's gonna last me a lot longer than corn on the cob. So in the long run, to be economical, they smoke great. You know, they look nice, right? The handcraft is not that bad. I mean, it's not. I'm sure the briar is not the best top of the line briar, but it's briar. It's wood. I mean, guys are going out. This is better than a long Gandalf pipe. And once I'm breaking it in, it's going to smoke great. And I have this for years to come. And I like it because it's the wide stem. I lost a bicuspid there. I need a wider stem so I can have more traction. And so I love it when I hear somebody say, hey man, I bought a pipe that was like $15. It had some pits, but it smokes great. And I'm like, there you go, man. You don't have to spend, you can spend that money that you would spend on an expensive pipe. You can spend it on great tobacco, and you can, store. And I've been telling this for a lot of people, man. Store tobacco. Put it away. Get yourself, start selling. I guess you guys cellaring your tobacco. Do it. Let your tobacco age. Burley ages well. Some Virginias ages well. If you like, I like once in a while I take a cigar that's well aged, and I cut it up, and I'll smoke the filler, or I add it with a little Cavendish, and it neutralizes. It's not too sweet. It's not very, very sweet. It's not harsh. It just gives me a nice tobacco taste, almost like a Honduran. Like if you was to smoke a Honduran. And I like smoking pipe with coffee. Once in a while with a beer. So that's it for today. Sailor the Piperman, Piper the Sailorman, signing out. Have a great day. You guys out there that smoke burley, let me know of some burley blends. I'll purchase it and I'll do a review. I'll try them and I'll buy them by bulk. Right now. I'm starting to stock up. By the end of this year, I want to have 10 pounds put away. Why? I don't know, man. I got this bad feeling about what's going to happen in the tobacco industry, and I don't want them, to stop selling tobacco. And I'm getting a really bad feeling, from the health department, and I need my tobacco, man. I live to smoke tobacco. I love tobacco smoking. I love great tasting tobacco. So this Sailor the Piperman, Piper the Sailorman, signing off. Have a great smoke day. Shout out to Tunnel.